Hello, trading has closed on 24th of August 2022. We always begin with our disclaimer. This is a risky business. Then we'll go over our calls and analyze the technical picture and see what we expect for tomorrow. This is my trading plan for tomorrow, Thursday, August 24th, 2022. Please remember, I can be completely wrong. Any money that you put at risk is your risk. I can be completely wrong. Look for the pattern with the early low, which is this. Tomorrow should have the early high. We had an optional target, 41.44, so it didn't have to print. Almost always would. It did. That's the red line. It's pretty close to where we closed. This isn't just a target, it's also a support resistance level, and you can see resistance, 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 and then close at support. During the day, early on, MEJT said higher prices would print. We got the minimum immediately. You don't have to stop at the minimum. This is the bar of reference. It's the reference bar with the support level. Support held all day. And we did see the higher prices. When we dropped, it was right to support, and the system said there was a false move, that we would retrace and go over this high, which we did. It's a reminder of what we said. We said the commonest thing was a gap and a prompt move outside the day's range. We actually gapped and promptly undercut yesterday's lows, so that worked. We said if we gapped up, we had all we needed for a bottom, but we didn't gap up. So even though we did rally, that wasn't the call. The only call was we gap and promptly undercut the day's range. Well, we stopped all this bleeding, but what have we accomplished? Well, so far at least, is nothing. Time hasn't run out, but we had an all-day rally from early until late, and at the close, we couldn't close over any of these intraday highs. You can see here's where we closed. Here are the intraday highs. The last few hours of trading just didn't do anything. Now, time doesn't run out until tomorrow. We gap up here tomorrow, all that negativity goes away. But if you don't clear this high early, that's a negative pattern. And don't forget, until this reverses convincingly, we're still in the downtrend. We had this as a possible low. I said I wasn't totally convinced, but if we gapped up, I thought it was worth playing because some other people had some timing coming in for a low. It might still work. I mean, we gapped up here. If we gap up tomorrow, I can still make this work. But let's see what this did to the count, this new low today. Well, yesterday I had this as a possible ending diagonal triangle. That was invalidated by this low because the third wave can't be the shortest one in the pattern. So I had to put wave black 4 here. And the question is that the end of wave black 5? Could that be it? Let's do a 2-minute chart. Well, I can count 5 waves down. That could be the end of 5. Doesn't break any rules. But now I can count 3 waves up with good fibs and the Fibonacci retracement of the last decline. Now this doesn't have to be the end of 2. Could be just A of 2. But if it's A of 2, it's supposed to have a 3-wave structure here. I mean, I guess you could talk yourself into that being 3 waves, and that could be B of 2. We could go up. I think it's kind of fudging the count, and if you fudge the count, it's usually wrong. Usually, not always. What if this is still an incomplete fifth wave? Well, that could be 1, that could be 2. This could be an impulse down for 3. Doesn't break any rules. It sure looks like an impulse. I'm not really convinced this wave black 5 down's over. Now, I might be convinced if we gapped up over these highs. There could always be some other count. But if that's not it, you're going to have to find some other way to interpret this pattern, and there might be one. But for right now, I don't see a reversal of the downtrend. Could change tomorrow, but I don't see it now. Tomorrow's pattern has the early high. We could still gap down. Typically, it's a rally day with a final hour high. Failure is a straight line drop. The volatility index, given the Bollinger Band reversal buy signal, could easily be invalidated if we trade down tomorrow. Don't forget, any signal has to be confirmed by the next day's open. If we gap down tomorrow, which I'm not predicting one way or the other, that doesn't count. Today's day-long rally couldn't manage a close over intraday highs, and so far it hasn't accomplished anything. Time doesn't run out till early tomorrow, but so far, no dice. It's difficult for me to come up with a count which says the current leg of the decline has ended. Bulls need to gap and promptly overtake the high of day, or else lower prices should print tomorrow, regardless of how we close. Remember, if it isn't an up day, it's a straight line drop. And if it is a straight line drop, we have a count which explains it. So bulls have their work cut out for them. If we really have completed this down leg, they're going to have to rally hard and fast pretty much right from the get-go, because so far, the more you churn at these lows, the greater the odds you're going to break down. We don't have to risk any money on this till early tomorrow, and the whole idea could be killed, because gapping smartly in the undesired direction kills the call. But so far, I view this as a rally attempt which hasn't worked. Time doesn't run out till early tomorrow. We'll have to see how we open, but we need to do more than this if we're going to reverse this decline. Once again, tomorrow has the early high. Usually it's a rally, but if it fails, we drop in a straight line. It's usually obvious pretty soon after the open which of the two it's going to be, and that's today's call.